according to the Smithsonian, that family reunions actually date back to emancipation. And it was when former slaves would actually place ads in newspapers asking for information.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Earrings Off. We want to invite you to subscribe, rate, and leave us a review. You can find us on Facebook at Earrings Off Podcast and on Instagram at The Earrings Off Podcast.
Welcome to Earrings Off. I'm Lou.
And I'm Teresa. Let's get started.
Okay, Teresa, we're going to talk a little bit today about reunions because I have been in the thick of reunion planning for my family, and this pandemic with everything has thrown our year off, and we've missed one, and we're nervous about, even though it's not until next year, we're nervous about even planning for something like that. When you talk about getting together with people and, trying to be safe, but of course we miss each other. So I am telling you, I'm sort of at a heightened state because it's important, but you're also nervous about trying to plan something of that scale. So do you do family reunions?
We do family days, if you will, not like you guys where you get together for a whole week.
Yeah.
We haven't done that. What we do and what my mom has started doing, and she does it the old-fashioned way, like now people are doing Zoom calls and and all of that. So she's calling individuals, trying to get a date. I'm like, Mom, let me just set up a Zoom call. It'll be so much faster.
It's
like, but she's like, I don't know if I can do that or whatever. But yeah, so we get together for a day, and it's typically a full day. It's my mom's side of the family.
Yeah.
And we start out with, for those who want to get there early, and that if you're there early enough for breakfast, that you're going to have a lot of work to do. So many of my families show up around noon
because they don't want to do the work.
But there's always games, and it's a fun time.
Yeah.
It is a fun time.
Well, and so now what you described, the one day thing, that's sort of what we do on my mom's side. And the full week thing, that's more that's my siblings reunion that I have with my sister and brothers and our families. But we also have cousins that come, and that's on my dad's side. But my mom's side, we do just what you described, just do a day. But I haven't been to one of those in a few years because the travel time, and then it's just about sitting there and eating one meal. It was like, I don't know if I'm gonna do all that kind of thing. It was the bang for my buck, even though it's rich in terms of relationship. It was a little boring on that side too. If they hear this, I'm gonna be mortified, but it was a little boring. So it might be. The other ones, we do a lot more activities and a lot more planning. It's a lot more work, but you come away getting what you hope to get out of that time together. So if that makes any sense.
The full day, it makes a lot of sense. The full day together, though, it is very well planned. There's planned activities at certain times for age groups.
Are you planning that though, Teresa? Are you doing it?
Now, just a short break. For tickets to the conference, go to www.eventbrite.com, search for Earrings Off. We'd love to see you.
Girl, my mom said to me that it was time to pass the baton to me and an older cousin that's the same age as I. Yeah. And I said, well, you get us through this one and then we'll pick it up
Oh, okay.
uh
Okay. Yeah.
next year.
Yeah.
So no, I don't plan anything. And then last night when I was talking to her about it, I was like, well, she was trying to get me more involved with what she's doing. I'm like, Mom, you need to recruit some additional
Yeah.
people to help
Yeah.
you. That's a little bit more work than I care to
Yeah.
get to commit to right now.
Well,
Because the plant there's gifts for, there's prizes,
yeah.
and then there's gifts. Everybody walks away with something.
Yeah.
And it's really the first time I was like questioning, what is this going to be like? Because we actually, the very first time, this was the first, it's been many years, about 10, 15 years that we started this thing. My mom did it on the property where she grew up on.
Oh, okay.
The house is torn down now, but the pecan trees are still there. And it
Yeah.
was it's like a big yard field, if you will, with
Yeah. Yeah.
pecan trees. And it was surreal almost. And we only did that once because we quickly found out for the old people that they needed shade. It's always in
Well,
the summer,
yeah. And
and
see,
it was a bit hot. So
yeah, and see that, yeah, it takes a lot of
mhm.
planning. But I had a former colleague when I used to share with her about ours. She wanted to do one. I mean, she really wanted one for her family, and she was all excited. But Teresa, with some of these, her challenge was, like you said, with your mom, the scheduling, trying to get a date that works for most people. And then it was, people wanted to do it, but nobody wanted to pay any money. People didn't want to really be engaged in terms of bringing stuff. And every year she would be so disappointed. She and her brother were trying to plan it because they just couldn't get the response. No matter how many calls they made or sent emails, people just weren't responsive to actually coming together. And she was always so disappointed. And I used to think, wow, you know, um, sometimes I know we're all busy, but you have to carve out some time for family. But when I was thinking about us talking about this, I didn't even know, but I wanted to share this, that, according to the Smithsonian, that family reunions actually date back to emancipation. And it was when former slaves would actually place ads in newspapers asking for information on their family members that had been sold. So newly freed slaves,
Mm,
they would try to find their family members. And that sort of was the beginning of family reunions for us. And I thought, wow, to just think about that and trying to find people, your loved ones who've been displaced. Well, I don't try to let me sugarcoat it, who've been sold, and are, you don't know what plantation where they may be. And now that they're free, they're trying to reconnect and find family. And it's
right.
certainly what we are trying to do here now as we keep these traditions going, is to maintain our connections to each other, because many times, well, we're all over the country in terms of locations
Yeah.
and proximity to each other. So just carving some time out to just reconnect with family is so important.
Mm,
But it's challenging as people are more spread out, lives are busier, and with so many demands on our time, just trying to carve out that time for your extended family can be
yeah.
challenging. Yeah.
Everyone involved have to feel the same level of wanting to do it as the
Yeah.
other in
Yeah.
order to make it a success.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and with us, what we've done in our family, we would usually plan the date like a year in advance. Well, really 2 years, we know what year it's going to come, but with the pandemic, of course, everything's changed. But we plan it, try to come up with a specific date a year in advance, and we get everybody to sort of weigh in on the month, or we try to schedule it when we know, you know, all the kids are out of school by that time. And people
Mm-hmm.
can actually start sort of paying on it, and
Mm-hmm.
they can pay on it, and we try to get something that works for everybody. So I'm thankful that so far it's been working. But my niece, when you talked about passing the baton, I really can't take any credit. I have a niece who just sort of works this thing. This is her gift to the family, and she works it like a job. So we're blessed in
Oh,
that
wow.
instance that she's taken that on. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that
So,
that is.
but
Yeah,
it is.
I like the way yeah, it's a lot of work and you need someone to take the lead on it.
Well,
Otherwise, and be that contact person for everybody.
yeah, you do. And well,
What about the family dynamics? What about
yeah,
the family dynamics?
yeah, I was about to say we're talking about the touchy feely, the good stuff, but there's also, potential for
Yeah.
drama. And because even though it's your family, they're you let me say, they're your family and you love them, but as things change in our lives, sometimes even our values change and what we enjoy. Uh, like I said, let me try to explain that, because even with my mom's side, I love my family members. So what I'm trying to say is that people change. We change in terms of, okay, is that something I really want to spend a day on versus doing some other type of activity? Do I want to incur the expense for that? And like I said, it could just be, is this, do we have drama sometimes in our families, whether we like to admit it or not. It's all not always lovey-dovey. Did this family member stop talking to that one? Am I gonna be in the middle of this? Is Uncle Bob gonna drink too much? It's all of that, that you're trying to maneuver around. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's more of for us the me, I'm just examining everybody and what everybody is doing, right? I'm the nosy one. And
Oh, really?
it's me trying to find out what contraband family members have snuck into the reunion and tell it on them.
You know what? You should be ashamed.
That's my role.
Hey, we all got to roll. We all got to roll. I'm trying to think. Okay, you're being.
And it's
What
so
is
much
mine?
fun.
I'm trying to think. What is my role in the family? I don't know. I think I'm more like um I'm always, I guess I'm the philosopher trying to talk to people and see, okay, so what do you have going on? Oh yeah, did you think about this? Oh, all of that. So yeah, I enjoy
Well, so
definitely.
you are definitely the cousin, aunt, sister, family
Yeah,
member that nobody wants to see coming.
yeah, yeah, you may be right about that. You may be right about that. But
So nobody
of
wants to.
course, in my defense, I'm always thinking that I'm imparting such wisdom to the next generation. I'm sure they don't see it that way, but I'm trying to do my part to make sure that the family thrives. And let's face it, folks,
Yeah.
I've had enough missteps or mistakes, however you want to phrase them, in my life, that I'm trying to share my knowledge, Teresa. That's what I'm doing at the family reunion. Okay, people may not appreciate it, but there's a reason for it. Okay, so for what it's
So
worth.
yeah, they're hiding. My family's hiding from me, and yours is running from you.
That's okay. But that's what family reunion is about. We all bring our little eccentric behavior or whatever we have going on. We bring it to the family reunion and we have a great time. And usually a lot of laughs, lots of good food, and you get a lot of warm and fuzzy feelings. But there's a lot of work. So
the other thing that my family doesn't want me involved in is the menu planning.
I know they don't.
They,
No, they don't. You threw all of that healthy stuff you're into. Teresa, you know what? You're laughing, but Teresa, do you remember that time I came to your house for Thanksgiving? I don't think your family even wanted to eat the food.
yeah, but then they enjoyed it.
They did,
They
but
had
they
it. They
were
enjoyed the meal.
skeptical of it. They enjoyed it because,
Yes.
Teresa, really, I helped you out
Yeah.
by piling my plate up and trying to role model for them. It's actually good food. So you owe me for that one. I'm always throwing myself,
Thank you.
sacrificing myself for people. When they said, well,
Thank you, friend.
you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Because they were standing back like, I'm not eating that. I'm not eating that. And then they said, well, that lady is throwing all that food on there. I'm like, yeah. And then I'm thinking to myself, you don't eat it, more for me.
Lou, there is so much truth in what you're saying. And of course they wanted they wanted to bring all of them wanted to bring food to my house. I'm like, come, bring nothing.
I know,
bring
right?
yourself.
I know they don't want you doing the family reunion food. That's funny. But yeah. But anyway, we are talking about family reunions, and especially after what we've been through and continuing to go through in terms of this pandemic. We just want to encourage you that in some way to find a way to safely gather with family. It may not look like what it's looked like in years past, but and also encourage you, like Teresa said, to use technology to try to get things scheduled, to take some work off of yourself. And just as everybody's family is different, everybody's reunion is different. But just encouraging folks to do what you can to support each other and stay connected now more than ever. So that's it for us today, and wishing you the best time at your family reunion.
Take good care.